Let's be honest, the world of AI runs on hype. I mean, every single week we're promised some kind of revolution. But what if one of those weeks, the revolution actually showed up? Today, we're going to look at some hard evidence that suggests 2025 is that moment, the year AI stopped being this far-off promise and became our new reality.
So you're probably thinking, okay, is this just another hype cycle? And that's a fair question, right? We've definitely been here before. But the argument for 2025, it isn't based on one flashy demo. It's based on something much more powerful.
You see, the reason this time is so different is that it's not about one single breakthrough. It's more like a perfect storm. We've got three powerful, completely separate trends all hitting at the exact same time. A huge leap in AI's actual capability, a fundamental shift in how developers use it every day, and a wave of multi-billion-dollar bets from some of the world's biggest companies.
So here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll dive into that incredible leap in what AI can actually do. Then we'll look at how that power has gone mainstream with the very people building our software. After that, we're going to follow the money, see the massive corporate bets being placed. And finally, we'll tie it all together to show you why these signals, when you see them combined, are pretty much undeniable.
Okay, first up, let's talk about raw capability. The story here isn't just that AI can write code a little bit faster. No, this is about AI solving problems that honestly, until very, very recently, we all thought were exclusively human. To really get where we are now, we have to look back at where we were. And it wasn't that long ago. Just 18 months ago, the world's absolute best AI models were tested on elite-level coding challenges. And they failed. Badly. Scoring below 15%. That was the ceiling. All right, now fast forward those 18 months. That ceiling hasn't just been broken, it's been totally obliterated. Just look at this GDP val benchmark. Today's top models are winning against human experts almost half the time. We're talking from under 15% to nearly 50% in a year and a half. That isn't progress. That's a vertical launch. And this isn't just happening in some lab. We saw it at the 2025 ICPC World Finals. Think of it like the Olympics of programming. An OpenAI system got a perfect score, something no human team even managed. At the same time, Google's Gemini solved a problem so tricky, it stumped every single one of the 139 human teams. This is a whole new class of problem-solving ability, and it's emerging right in front of us. And you know who's seeing this up close? The very people building these models. When Anthropic CEO says AI will be writing 90% of the code within months, he wasn't just throwing out a wild guess. He was describing the reality that's already happening inside his own company, where developers are basically becoming conductors of an AI orchestra. So what does this new power look like in the real world? Well, at Google, it looks like an instant 10% productivity boost. Now, for their 80,000 engineers, that's the equivalent of hiring 8,000 new developers, just instantly. The economic leverage here is absolutely massive. So the tech is clearly powerful, but is anyone actually using it? Well, that brings us to our second big trend, the shift from a niche tool to a mainstream utility. And this is where developers have really voted with their time. You know, the annual Stack Overflow survey is kind of the pulse of the developer community, and the results from 2025 are a huge landmark. Over half of all professional developers are now using AI tools every single day. This is the tipping point, people. Daily use isn't for the early adopters anymore, it's the new standard. And we're not talking about just casual use here. The Dora report found that the median usage is 2 hours a day. That's a quarter of the workday spent collaborating with AI. This is the key takeaway. AI isn't a tool you pull out once in a while anymore. It's become infrastructure, as fundamental as your email or the cloud. Okay, so we have powerful tech and mass adoption. That leads directly to our third signal, the money. Big, traditionally cautious companies are no longer just experimenting. They are placing huge bets, signaling a fundamental belief that this is the future. And you know, there is no louder signal than a billion-dollar check. In September 2025, the enterprise software giant Workday bought a company called Sana for $1.1 billion. This wasn't a talent grab or some small feature purchase. This was a massive bet on the future of their business. See, Workday bought Sanga for its core AI agent technology. That tells you they believe this is the future architecture for their entire product line. And this isn't just a one-off, it's a pattern. We're seeing it with GitHub evolving Copilot from a simple autocomplete to a full codebase agent, and with Microsoft redesigning its platforms to be AI native from the ground up. These are foundational, multi-year bets from companies that absolutely do not make them lightly.
Okay, so we have these three separate, powerful stories. A massive leap in capability, a huge surge in adoption, and enormous corporate investment. Now, let's connect the dots and see why these three things together create a signal that's just undeniable.
When you look at 2024 versus 2025 side by side, the change is just stark. I mean, we went from fancy autocomplete to true problem solving. We went from a minority of developers just experimenting to a clear majority relying on it daily. And we went from small pilot projects to billion-dollar acquisitions. In every single dimension, the shift from potential to reality is crystal clear. And this right here is the crucial point. This is what separates this moment from all the hype. It's something called convergent validation. Our evidence is coming from three completely independent sources. We've got objective academic benchmarks, not some company's marketing spin. We have broad industry surveys, not just one company's case study. And we have real multi-billion-dollar financial bets, not just bold predictions. When these three different signals all point in the exact same direction, you can trust it's real. So the evidence really makes it clear. The debate is no longer if this is real. The more interesting and, frankly, the more urgent question is this. If all this happened in just 18 months, what happens next? Just how fast is this rocket ship going to fly?
What all the evidence shows is that 2025 wasn't just another year of steady progress. It was the inflection point. The exact moment AI development snapped from a future promise into our present reality. And the most incredible part? You're watching it happen.